Hi everyone. Today I'm going to talk to you about the foundational elements to Pilates. So I studied with the Australian Physiotherapy and Pilates Institute, and they talk about 5 key elements to focus on when it comes to your Pilates practice, to make the most out of your Pilates practice. So the 5 key elements include breathing, centering, ribcage placement, shoulder blade placement, and head and neck placement. So Pilates is a brilliant form of exercise. It can really focus on strength as well as core control, coordination, balance, postural alignment. So it can be a brilliant foundation for other forms of exercise as well. So for example, help to improve your cycling, your running, your ability to do exercises at the gym, as well as being a fantastic form of exercise in and of itself. So let's focus on those 5 key elements. So first of all, breathing. So obviously breathing is important. We need oxygen to survive, but also we really need to focus on our breath when it comes to Pilates, because our diaphragm is a muscle at the end of the day, and it's actually also considered one of our core muscles. So with Pilates, we focus on a normal breath, but we focus on sustaining that normal breath and trying not to hold your breath, trying not to strain with your breath. So it's just a comfortable breath in and a comfortable breath out. Often you will hear instructors talk about breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth, just to help you focus on that breath. And also often you may find it easier to breathe in to prepare for a movement and then breathe out when it comes to doing the hardest part of a movement. So that's your breathing first of all. The next foundational element is centering. So this is basically activation of your core abdominal muscles. So our core muscles don't only contribute our abdominal muscles, but like I said, your diaphragm and also the deep muscles at the back, as well as your pelvic floor muscles. So really focusing on engaging all of those muscles together as a sling can be quite useful. But just focusing on your pelvic floor and your lower abdominal muscles first of all. So there are a few different ways you can think about activating those core muscles. So a few cues would be, for example, wearing a low slung belt with maybe 10 notches on it, and you're just tightening that belt to the 3rd notch. So it's not a really tight 100% activation of those core muscles. We're looking at about a 30% contraction of your core abdominal muscles to be most effective throughout Pilates, so that you can still concentrate on breathing and then still also concentrate on moving your arms and your legs and flowing through different movements. So your centering involves obviously your diaphragm, so keeping that breath, but then drawing in those deep lower abdominal muscles, as well as your pelvic floor. So you can also think of your pelvic floor being like a lift on the bottom, on the ground floor, and you want to engage those muscles so that that lift rises up to, say, the 3rd floor rather than the 10th floor. So you're gently lifting up and in with your pelvic floor and gently drawing in through your lower abdominal muscles. The other important thing is thinking about ribcage placement. So often we don't think about our ribcage, we're not aware of where it's sitting. So through one of the foundational elements is focusing on, where is your ribcage? Is it sticking up? Is it sunk down? And what we want mainly to do is prevent that ribcage flaring up, which often results in the middle of your back arching. So by focusing on drawing that ribcage down and flattening it against your stomach and ensuring that the back of your ribcage is gently resting against the floor or the chair, can be really helpful to ensure your ribcage is in the right place and therefore your spine is in the right place as well. The 4th foundational element is shoulder blade placement. So again, it's very easy, especially if you sit at a desk all day or you're doing a lot of manual handling, to be quite shrugged through your shoulders and maybe a little bit rounded through your shoulders. So with Pilates, we really encourage that widening and width through your collarbones and drawing your shoulder blades gently down and back. So what can be helpful is imagining drawing your right shoulder blade towards your left back pocket and your left shoulder blade towards your right back pocket. So you're really drawing those shoulder blades down and back, and then creating that nice width through your collarbones. So you're avoiding those shoulders rising up and coming forwards. So you want to get nice width and keeping those shoulders down away from your ears as well. And then the final foundational element is your head and neck posture. So again, often we can find ourselves kind of holding our neck in this position where it's longer at the front and shorter at the back. So with Pilates, we encourage more of a lengthening through the neck. So you want to focus on drawing that chin gently down and lengthening through the back of your neck. So you're imagining growing really nice and tall. A few cues, so one would be, imagine you're holding a big orange underneath your chin onto your chest and you want to keep it there. Otherwise, imagine you've got a piece of string with someone pulling it and lengthening through your head, so pulling through the crown of your head. So those are the 5 key elements of Pilates. So just to recap, we've got breathing, we've got centering, ribcage placement, shoulder blade placement, and head and neck placement. So I hope that's been helpful, and that you find the short Pilates classes that I have up on the YouTube channel useful. So if you're a beginner, you can start with the 20-minute beginner class. If you've done Pilates before, you may prefer the intermediate class, but really focusing on those 5 key elements can help you to get the most out of your Pilates practice. Hope that's been helpful.